Hi, my name is Aaron Welch, and I'm a licensed mental health therapist in Orlando, Florida. Recently, I was asked how could a dad help his son to increase his self esteem? I love this topic because we live in such a fatherless society in the sense of lots of fathers are either not there physically or many have just checked out emotionally. And so we have lots of boys and young men who grow up really not sure what it means to be a man. So the whole idea of fathers giving offering self-esteem and value to their sons, that's a topic I love. In fact, hopefully someday I'll write a book about it. I guess to say the answer to that question is so intricate. There's so much material that we can't spend all day on it. But I want to give you 4 tips, dads. 4 tips on how you can offer value to your son and help him to increase in self-esteem. Now, I'm not talking about breeding arrogance in your sons, because arrogance is really a shallow form of self-esteem and usually is a front or a pretense for low self-esteem. So I'm not talking about arrogance here. I'm not talking about making sure your son is cocky and all that. But what I'm talking about is offering a strong, true foundation of healthy self-esteem. First of all, dads, your sons need you to know them. They need you to know them. If I have one thing that I have teenage guys tell me all the time, it's that my dad doesn't listen to me. He doesn't know me. And I can't tell you how many arguments I've had between fathers and sons where dad says, I know what's best for you, or I know how you are, and the son saying, no, you don't know me at all. So dads, listen, whether you think you know your son or not, if your son is telling you that you don't, maybe it's time to catch up. Maybe they're not the same kid they were when they were 12. Maybe it's not the same young man that you took fishing at 8. Now that they're 15, 14, 15, 16, 17 years old, these are teenage guys, and maybe they have changed. Or even if they haven't, maybe they don't think you've been listening for a while. Dads, sons need you to know them, which means you've got to become better listeners to them. Now, that's not easy for us. Most of us would rather lecture and speak to our sons about what we know, but sometimes our sons need us to hear them. Now, my dad would always say, "You just want to argue about everything," but the truth is I wasn't really wanting to argue. I wanted my dad to hear me, and maybe sometimes my opinions were different than my dad's, but it wasn't that my goal was not to argue. My goal was that my dad would know who I was. He would know my heart. And dads, your sons need to know that you're listening to them. So even if you disagree with them, even if you think whatever they're saying is like completely naive or foolish, listen anyway. Let them know you're listening. Repeat what they've said to you, not word for word, but paraphrasing it to them. Just let them know that you value them enough to hear what they have to say. It'll go a long way. So dads, they need you to know them, but they need you to show them too. Sons need their fathers to show them what it means, show them skills, teach them trades and skills that they're going to need to know as they grow older and start to move into manhood. Whether it's balancing a checkbook, how to budget your money, how to work on the car, how to change the oil, how to go camping and be safe on camping trips, how to play sports, how to build relationships with girls. Whatever the case may be, our sons need us to show them the things that we know. Now, we don't know everything, obviously. So if there's something your son needs to learn and you're not very good at it, find somebody who is. Maybe both of you can learn something. But dads, your sons need you to know them, and they need you to show them. They really need you to grow them. Dads, masculinity cannot be just taught. Masculinity is an initiation, and it can only be offered by men. I've given talks to single mothers a lot and talked to them a lot because I have a lot of clients who are single moms raising sons. And the truth is, and I always try to remove guilt from them because they feel like they have to play dad and mom, and they do in several ways. But one thing mom cannot offer is masculinity because she's not masculine. God didn't make her that way. She's not a man. So dads, your sons need you to grow them, to help them in this journey into manhood. Okay, and that can mean several things. It can mean blazing the trail yourself, you becoming a better and better man, and then bringing your son along with that. Don't be so afraid of your own fears or insecurities that you can't bring your son through that process of maturity. Dad, sometimes if your son screws up and makes a boneheaded mistake, sometimes you're going to have to let him feel the sting of his actions, the consequences of his behavior, not saving him, but being there to guide him through that process. You know, when we screw up and make mistakes, that's when we learn the most. That's when we mature. But your son doesn't need you to forsake him at that time. But he doesn't need you to save him either. He needs you to be there, love him, and guide him through it, and help him glean wisdom from those things. Whatever it means, this journey of manhood, whatever we're talking about, one of them is consequences and maturity. But your sons need you to help them grow into manhood. So they need you to know them. They need you to show them. They need you to grow them. And finally, dads, your sons need you to crow them. You know, crow them, brag about them. Sons need to know that their dads think highly of them. So dads, if you'll just brag about your son, and I'm not talking obnoxious, unhealthy bragging, but I'm just saying, if you'll praise your son's accomplishments, or not just for what he does, but who he is, his personality, his characteristics, if you'll praise that to other men, and he hears that, it's going to go such a long way to your son's self-esteem, because every boy wants to know from his dad, Dad, do I have what it takes? You know, do I have what it takes? Do I have what it takes to become a man? And you can offer him that, and along the way, if you'll just praise him to your peers, to other men, man, that really does a lot to a boy's self-esteem. So guys, there's so much more on this topic. I wish I could talk all day, but I can't. But dads, if you'll know your sons, listen better, know them, show them, begin to bring them into teaching them things they need to know, skills they need to have, grow them, help them with maturity. Don't forsake them or just lay into them when they make mistakes, but help them through those rough spots, and then crow them, praise them to other guys. You're going to see your son's self-esteem begin to develop a healthy, strong foundation for the future. I'm Aaron Welch. I'd love to talk to you about this further, and if you have any questions or you just want to talk about it, give me a call at the LifeWorks group in Winter Park, Florida. Our number is 407-647-7005, or you can check out our website at www.lifeworksgroup.org. Until then, guys, take your sons seriously, because they need you.